And yes, today the Galactic Odyssey comes to an end when we look at Galactic Odyssey Encounter, I believe 5. It is the Botropolis Missile Rescue, that being these two lads and a bunch of micromasters. That's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. Let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all my social media links. All of that down in the description below if you're in a position to help the channel to grow. You can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member. And this is the Botropolis. I think it's like Botropolis Missile Rescue. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. These got weird names. It's the Botropolis set from the Galactic Odyssey line. Okay, it is what it is. And it comes with these two. This is Ironworks, who I'm not going to keep named Ironworks, and this is Overair, who I'm not going to keep named Overair. We'll talk about more of that later. I like the weaponizer, so I expect to like these guys. We also have in the package the two shuttle lads, which by rights are Fuzer, or Phaser if you will, and Blast Master. Ooh, Blast Master, but I'm not using these as Phaser or Blast Master either. In fact, I plan to keep these guys for that. And then finally, we have Missile Master and Moonrock. You know you were getting to the bottom of the barrel with names. Let's just name this guy after a rock. Whatever. We got those two. They're the two new characters in there, but I am tickled to have them. Plus, we want to kind of see the base modes. We want to kind of see who else might be able to interact here and kind of flesh out this team. There's a lot to uncover here and explore, even though we're not going to be looking at the actual transformations because we've covered them a number of times before. So without any further ado, how about we head over to the table and take a closer look at this set. And so the Galactic Odyssey comes to a close. We have looked at most of these sets. The only one that I didn't look at is the one with the clones. And that's because I got the clones way back in 2016 as part of Titan's Return. I just didn't see a need to double dip on them. But we did look at the like Dominus Criminal Pursuit, and we did look at the Micron one, and we did look at the Paradron Medics, and we didn't look at Biosphera. Biosphera is the one with the clones. And now, finally, we have Botropolis. And we have a weird melange, if you will, of characters here, but I think that it actually really works, especially when we put them with other ones. Before we get into that, though, we're going to look at the packaging first. And yes, we have packaging here. I don't know what this is. Micromasters, I guess? I don't know. I don't know what that symbol is. I'm sure that somebody else does. Besides that, it is your typical selects packaging. Botropolis. In here we have our usual inside the package thing. Here we have our instructions, which we'll look at in a moment, but it's a nice inside the packaging. It's too bad they didn't put this much love in the outside of the packaging. And Botropolis is Terran, made up of a lot of largely populated cities. Gobrilium is a major resource there. It's some sort of metal. Primarily inhabited by GotBots, and it's like a mobile comet that like helps other civilizations in need. I love the description and the nods here. I think it's brilliant. Inhabited by GotBots. I dig it. I absolutely dig it, man. And we have a gigantic sheet of instructions because there's a lot to cover in here. Of course, none of it is like anything we haven't really kind of seen before, so I'm not going to go through the transformations. I'll sort of talk about the characters, we'll see the modes, and then we'll see it really kind of combined up and talk about that a little bit, because there's more that's interesting here than going through the steps of the actual transformations. And so we're going to kick things off with the two newest members in this set, that being the team, I suppose you would call it, part of the Astrop Squad, Missile Master and Moonrock. They are like really reuses of molds that we've had before, but instead of having the blaster that's been in the back, we actually have a flat piece and a separate missile that can go on over it, which makes sense since the dude's name is Missile Master. He should probably have a missile. But in terms of functionality and whatnot, it's exactly the same as we have seen before, where the arms are somewhat limited, the legs are pretty free-flowing. I think that they both have a waist, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe neither of them has a waist. I thought they did, though. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. They're fine. They're every bit as fine as the other uses of this mold have been. In their vehicle mode, they do end up like kind of combining. We have a hole up right there, and we have a peg that's flipped back on the head, and like separate, they're kind of lackluster. Together, they give us a really cool vehicle that looks like this. Well, kind of like this. We fold up the legs on both. This guy's heel spurs come out, and we collapse the arms. On this guy, we fold up the legs, collapse the arms. And this peg goes down so that both of these end up going together like that. Exactly like we had in G1. It looks the part for what he's, or they, I guess I should say, are supposed to look like. We do have the actual missile there. I dig it. I'm in for it. I like them as direct hit and power punch, and as the fire truck lads. I can't remember their names right now. The yellow ones that were in the Micron 6-pack, and I like them here. I think that their win. I'm 9, I guess, for what they are. That being said, we can also remove this missile, and if you really want, I mean, you could turn this like this, and there's your blaster mode, though I don't think there's anywhere to put the missile. Maybe forget that it can do this. And I like how this is coming together. Now, I looked at the G1 Astrop Squad with all 6 members way back in episode 573, and I loved it then. I thought that they were a great squad. And I looked at the I guess the Earthrise versions of the lads, being Fuzer, or Phaser if you will, and Blast Master in episode 770. So we have 4 of the 6 members. The 2 that are conspicuous by their absence would be Heave and Barrage. And they turn by rights into a radar rover, so they would be very similar to Moonrock and Missile Master. But we'll talk about Heave and Barrage in a bit, because we do have another issue that we need to kind of discuss. While this looks very cool, this looks very odd. So what do we do now? Because here's the thing, in this package, these guys are still named Fuzer and Blast Master. For me personally, I'm going to keep all 4 of these guys. The kind of mainline release is still going to be my Phaser and Blast Master. So what are the repainted lads in the box set going to be? Well, they are actually more of an homage to the micromaster Stormjet from the Universe line. He was one of the aerial bots in that line by rights. And while he was only one singular character, when these 2 guys go together in their shuttle mode, honestly, they're like the spitting image of Stormjet. I'm not a Unicron Trilogy guy, but you know what? I'm going to call one of these Storm, the other one Jet, and they're going to kind of be part of my Astrop Squad. Why not? How do they look in shuttle mode? They are both neat shuttle boys. Look, here's what I would say about this. The front end of the shuttle, you have better articulation. You have knees, you have shoulders that can go all the way around, and you have a waist. The back end of both, while you still have kind of all the joints that you would want for a micromaster, I mean, it's a micromaster, it only has so much, right? Like, you do have shoulder joints, and you do have knees, and all of this stuff. It's so kind of back heavy that you almost need to kind of bend the knees and angle these wing pieces back so that, you know, whoever our back half is able to stand up. I feel like that could have been done a little bit better. I think the front end of the jet is kind of where the strength really lies. If you know the character of Stormjet, like, this is a pretty good approximation of that. So yeah, I'm cool with this. I absolutely like it. And that brings us to our kind of main bots. The first one is Ironworks, and he's still named Ironworks even though we previously got this lad who was named Ironworks, and his little micromaster partner Iron Tread. For me, in my fiction, both of these are Ironworks, and Ironworks can transfer his consciousness from the truck to the larger base bot. It's kind of like a transtector type of deal. So, where does that leave us with this guy? My intention is to try and sort of round out the Astro team proper. So, this guy will now be my version of Heave. Why not? You will notice that on one arm he has a pretty big thruster cannon. It fits there, why not? And it differentiates him a bit. We don't have anything to compare this to. It obviously doesn't look like Heave, but I like the way the brilliant white, blue, and red kind of play off each other, along with the hints of silver. I think it looks great. I'm giving it a 10. As far as the articulation for the guy goes, we still have left and right and up and down. We have the arms on both, able to go all the way around, out to the side. We have a deep elbow here. Yeah, well over 90 degrees. I don't think we have a wrist, if I'm not mistaken. We do have a wrist here. We have 90 degrees at this elbow. The legs can go all the way out to the side still. They can not really go back very much, but they can certainly go forward on what feels like a bit of a soft ratchet. Deep knee, thigh swivel, and yeah, ankle tilt. Has kind of everything that I'd want. It's all tolerance well. Again, I'm going to say 10 for the articulation. In terms of his modes and transformation, we're not going to show it, but the modes do look like this. This is, I don't know, a defense base? We'll say, I guess? Why not? Also a defense-based thing. And his in disguise little crane station construction place thing. I don't know, but this is it. Plus, let's not forget, because by rights he is a weaponizer, he can also be broken up into a whole bunch of parts and be mounted onto other size class characters to become shields and blasters and like feet stilts and all kinds of stuff. So transformation 10 for me, because I don't care about the parts forming and I understand it makes sense here. I think that this looks brilliant. I think it's great. It's not going to be my Ironworks, but I already love the mold. I'm cool with having it here. We also had it used for Grease Pit, which I didn't show here because Grease Pit is a Decepticon. So now we have a version, for me anyway, of Heave. And as you probably already guessed, we're finally going to be looking at Overair here, or so he's named. I'm not using him as Overair because we already have a micromaster named Overair who goes with the Decepticon base named Airwave. I'm going to use both of that there. So this guy is actually going to be renamed into a Barrage. And he does look a lot like good old Hot House here, which is again another use of that mold. This guy naturally has piece of the cannon up on his shoulder. I'm saying piece of the cannon, piece of the missile, fuselage, I don't know what it is, on his shoulder. But once we take that out, we can get him in all the modes again that we've seen before. And the first one looks like an airport. It looks like an airport because the guy's name is Overair. Since I'm calling him Barrage, to try and justify that name, I don't know, he could send an aerial barrage of planes to attack the Decepticons. I don't know, but like, yeah, it's the airport, or a cool, sleek missile defense base. By the way, I didn't mention it earlier, but this guy's slathered in paint as well. I love the gold that's on him. Tons of detail. The articulation robot mode was exactly the same as we've seen before with this mold. He can do it all. I think it's fantastic. But finally, whatever this thing is supposed to be, with Hothouse, this is obviously the fire station with the road out in front of it, I suppose. Here, I don't know, another form of a runway maybe. And just before we get the whole thing together here, if you're wondering how the shuttle stays attached to the larger missile, we use the peg that's in the chest of our lad back here, and we peg it into a hole down there. You can also use the front one if you want, but the instructions say to use the back one, so that's what we did. And of course, here we have the base together. We have both bases there. This obviously looks, or is supposed to look, like the rocket base of years gone by. I like it. I think it works out really well. We have 2 shuttles ready to launch. We have our other 2 lads manning the base, but that's not all we can do here, of course. Now this is where the real money is. Look, at the end of the day, we have an entire team here, basically, that we can kind of put together. And we can call them the Astrop Squad. I mean, we have 4 of the members. We can use the 2 bases as the other 2 members. Plus, we can add Hothouse and Ironworks, along with Iron Tread. We even have, though I don't myself own the Siege Omega, I did review it and it is spectacular. I do, however, own Countdown, and I have paired Countdown with Skylynx as the rocket base. And of course, in a way, Skylynx would be able to lead this whole team. Something that I'm sure Skylynx would love. Here is this base just from another angle. Naturally, this is just one possible configuration of many. And finally, just one last angle. And honestly, I'm going to say that this set is a 10 out of 10. The creativity, the possibilities, it's virtually endless. Yes, these are naturally parts formers, but what you can do with them is almost endless. And look at this, what a great base for micromasters to launch themselves from to get into the heat of the war for Cybertron. And so here we are once again. So first things first, our boy Heave. Look, I love this mold. I like it for Grease Pit. I like it for Ironworks. And now I like it for Heave. I love these colors. They're crisp. They're bright. This elbow, fresh out of package, was a bit harsh. But besides that, everything here is toleranced wonderfully. And now that elbow works just fine. I just had to loosen it up. If you didn't like these guys to begin with, nothing about this is going to change your mind. If you did like these guys, then this guy's another win. Then we have these 2 little lads, Moonrock and Missile Master, and you know what, like, I like these for the Decepticon duo that they are used for with direct hit and power punch. I think that's who it is. I like them for the 2 fire truck lads, and now I like them for these guys. I'm glad that they did a little bit of remolding here, since the guy is a master of missiles. It makes sense. I was concerned, I suppose, that I was going to have to try and decide which version of the shuttle boys I was going to keep, but luckily now we have Storm and Jet. I think I'm going to call the front Storm the back Jet. And yeah, cool. Now I have 2 shuttles as part of a shuttle launch base thing. Excellent. And then we get to this guy. And this guy, of course, is now going to be Barrage. And yeah, I'm cool with that. Again, I mean, it's not quite right because he doesn't turn into a radar truck thing, but like, neat. It's a way for me to incorporate the name with the Astrop Squad. I didn't go through his articulation. I suppose I should. The head goes left, right. Not really any up, down. This arm goes all the way around, out to the side, elbow, bicep swivel. Same over here. Oh, I just popped that out. Over here, like out to the side, down. We have a bicep swivel. If you just heard a sound there, that was my wife and her speaker. So, if you didn't hear it, then ignore what I just said. If you did, that's what it was. Leg goes all the way back and forward. Swivel and out to the side, and ankle tilt and waist. So I didn't go through it, but I mean, we've seen it all before with him as well. Tremendous. Honestly, I think the whole set is tremendous. I think it was a great way to top off the Galactic Odyssey, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm so very glad it's over because they were a nuisance to get. At least they were for me. Let me know what you think about the Botropolis set and the Galactic Odyssey in general. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube. Become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.